Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. I am Duty Boy, and this is episode 23 of my series, Let's Play Minecraft Survival! On today's episode, my objective is to replace this, the last of my original manual farms. So this is how I'm getting pumpkins and melons right now. It is pretty manual. As you can see, I occasionally destroy the stems and then I have to replant them. After several weeks of playing the game, this is it. This is all the melons and all the pumpkins I have. Now I know, if you've been watching this series, you probably remember me saying that I was going to build a tree farm and a sawmill. And believe me, I tried. I tried really hard to build a working tree farm. I already did go so far as to build out this large platform where the sawmill and the tree farm are going to sit. The tree farm, I think, would go over in this corner, and then the sawmill would be a building built around it. So here I am in a creative world, and as you can see, this is one of the tree farms that I was trying to prototype and build. This is a design by Il Mango. This is an exploding tree farm that produces birch logs. All you have to do basically is stand here and spam this little spot with birch saplings, and then a really well-timed duplicated TNT will drop down from the top there and destroy the tree. That's what's supposed to happen. But I am here in a 1.15 snapshot. This is the new one that came out today, 19W45A, and we will fire this thing up so that I can show you the problem. Nothing is happening. It probably works really well in 1.14.4 and previous versions, but it does not work anymore. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to build that with any success. So I basically went back to an older design that I used to use all the time in my worlds. This one right here basically has a dispenser full of bone meal. You just stand here, it starts spewing it out, and you just let me get out of here. You basically aim at this tiny little spot of grass below there, you plant a sapling, and it grows up for you. But that's exactly what I wanted to show you. So now oak trees grow with low leaves. So that wouldn't be a problem, right? You just build the whole thing up on a platform and you can get rid of this trapdoor and you can just put them directly on here. However, there's a problem with the rates. So, in my obsession to build the ultimate tree farm, I went back to an old video by Mumbo Jumbo, and I built this entire tree farm. It's about a 3-year-old video. I'll put a link to it down in my description. What happens is you basically, so you stand over here on this side, you stand on this pressure plate, the dispenser starts going, and the log comes out, it gets pushed down there, and once you have enough logs in the chute here, as you can see, we have to wait. We're using tons of bone meal to get each log. It's terrible. The rates are absolutely terrible. Mumbo Jumbo himself recently came up with a new version of this same tree farm. It uses the same growing mechanism, but then it splits the logs into these two lines and pushes them over this pool of water so that they can be destroyed by a TNT duper. Now this I was totally interested in, right? And here's the TNT duper mechanism. There it goes. It starts dropping. It drops it down. My height might be a little off. I may need to move the entire thing up by one more block, but it doesn't really matter because this is also inhibited by the same problem. So yeah, you stand here, you put your sapling there on the platform, and you wait. Alright, good. There's one. And we're waiting, and there's another. Anyway, I did a 2-minute test, and I got a stack and a half of logs. In his video, Mumbo Jumbo did the same test, and he got like 7 stacks of logs. But there's a problem with growing trees in farms that makes it kind of silly to do a tree farm at all, so why would I? So instead, what we're going to do today is proceed to the next item on the agenda, which is a melon and pumpkin farm that automatically grows and harvests melons. The little cart down on the bottom here runs below all the grass and collects the melons as they're picked up. And each of these stems basically has a observer pointing down into it, because in the latest version of the latest snapshots of 1.15, we can now detect a update to the stem with an observer, and that way we can trigger all of the pistons around it to crush the pumpkins and melons. And then this isn't firing. Oh, that's because this is full. Yeah, so if there's stuff sitting here, then this is not going to go. So we just need to take some out, and then that'll go back and continue working. Anyway, as you can see, it goes along the tracks there. It picks up all of the melons, and then it brings it back over here to this minecart unloading station. It's a pretty easy design. All it requires is a bunch of observers pointing down into the melon and pumpkin stems, and a block around each of it, and a single piece of redstone dust on top of each observer. When this observer notes a change in this stem, it will activate this redstone and all the blocks around it, and that will cause all of the pistons around the observer to quickly fire and retract. And there's really nothing to building it. And as we do it, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks for building this farm in survival mode that you wouldn't see in a creative video. So I'm going to build this melon and pumpkin farm over here in my base. As you can see, I've been extending the walls up a little bit. So the important thing about choosing where to build a farm is location, location, location. In choosing how I'm going to arrange all of my farms around the perimeter of my base here, I believe that this area over here, in this corner between the mob farm and the nether portal, this like dark area back here, is going to be my food storage. So what I'm thinking is that we'll probably put the gains from my melon and pumpkin farm into a storage unit that will be built right about here. So that means I'll want the melon and pumpkin farm to go up somewhere over here in this corner. I believe it's going to be best to put it like over in this corner behind this curve. So I think I'm going to dig out this little area, and I'm going to put a doorway here. All right, so let's see if I can go one more. Yep. All right, so good. We have a nice little corridor of 5 there, and I'm going to light it up just to prevent spawns if I can. And then we will have a hallway going back this way to the melon and pumpkin farm. That way, if we have to do maintenance on it or something like that, I can get to it really quickly. Because let me tell you something that I know from experience. Planning is key, and where you put your farms determines whether or not you just have to build them once or twice or 4 times. Yes, I have rebuilt farms 4 times because I put them in the wrong place. Don't be a duty. All right, so I've already dug quite a ways back, and as you can see, I broke into the stronghold, which is right here next to my base. Tore out some of the walls and everything, but what I'm trying to do is align myself in coordinates with the corner of the level below. So I copied these coordinates below, negative 1802, negative 303, and as you can see, I'm looking at the same block about 8 Y levels up. So let's mark that. That's the corner. And then this is where my first chest would go. Basically right there. And more chests would go here. And I think at least, so what we would do is we have the pumpkins and melons coming from a farm that'll be built in this area, I think. Or maybe it'll be built in this area. That'll probably be easier, yeah. Okay, so now that I've figured out where my pumpkin melon farm is going to go, we're going to have the cart return system probably come back over to this side, and then we'll be dropping items into chests that are down here. But the problem is, as you saw in my creative world, the pumpkins and melons fill the storage up so quickly. Melons, of course, at a rate of about 5-to-1 to the pumpkins. But of course, I'll be taking the melon slices out and I'll be combining them. I'll probably put some crafting tables right there under the storage unit. What I need is a column of chests to store pumpkins, a column of chests to store melon slices, and then I need another column of chests to store full melons that I have created. But then again, I could probably use a couple more chests. So maybe we do 2 columns of each. Yeah, I'm starting to like this idea. So this would be 2 columns of storage for pumpkins, 2 columns of storage for the melon slices, and 2 columns of storage for the full melon. Yeah, I think that's gonna go pretty well. All right, so now in order to figure out where this best needs to go, I think the cart unloading system is probably going to go somewhere in this area. So this is probably going to be the corner, and the entire thing is 9 wide. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, good. So I'm going to dig out a 9 by 9 hole right here, and then I'm going to get started. So I'm sorry, but in that last clip, I actually didn't lay that out correctly at all. So I've laid a little mock-up out here in order to help me get the spacing right. So this is where the column is going to go, but of course we're talking about a couple levels down. It's going to go back into the wall, and then this is exactly where the chests are going to be placed down there. And then of course we need some space for the hoppers behind it. The hopper minecart unloading station is going to stop right here, and then there can be, you know, the rest of the mechanism can be back here, but this is where the powered rail needs to be. It needs 2 rails of space so that it can get down underneath there. And then, of course, we needed to have, from that point, we would need another 9 rails to go underneath it, and then another rail on that. Okay, again, I'm going to double check here because this is so important. The spacing is so important. So this is 1, 2 for the unloading system, and then 11 to go underneath the whole unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's it. And the great thing about 115 is that it will lay tracks in the direction you face. So we need the tracks to come back to here, and then we're going to curve that way, and they're just going to keep going, and I'm just going to keep putting them around like this. And we can just have it go right into the wall here, and then it'll turn around and go back. So we're going to need a powered rail there, and I'll pick that up in just a second. I think we're going to need another one there just to make sure it can get up, because it's going to be a little bump right here. And then across the middle, we're going to do another row of powered rails on top of redstone blocks, just like this. See, so it's powered. All right, so let's see. Let's find the middle of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that should be it. So we'll just pick up all these blocks and these rails in the middle, and we're going to replace them all with redstone blocks. And that one too. Whoops. And then we're going to put powered rails on top of all these. And what this will do is it will power the minecart, the hopper minecart, to keep going. Now when we get over here to this wall, we also need a powered rail because we need to send it back. All right, there. So that's pretty much our minecart tracks all done and dusted. So then now I'm going to start building this station. You're going to shift click to put it there, so the hopper minecart will come up to here, and then it will run into the unloading station here. And of course none of this will be here, it will be down below, so I'm going to start getting rid of that. And I think this is actually going to have to go down instead of across. So there we go, that'll go down into the floor like that. And then we're going to have another rail there and a powered rail there. Alright, so now I've got a stack and a half of dirt, and the dirt blocks are actually going to start right there, and they're going to go 9 across this way, so right to there, and then they're going to go 9 across this way. Now I just need to fill all that in. Alright, so now I got the stone cutter out here. I'm going to make a single granite stair, and I've got to get over there into the exact middle of the dirt spot. All right, so should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be the center. Yeah, looks like the center. All right, so then I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to waterlog it. And as you'll see, well, hopefully I can show you. I'll have to back way up here. The water does not pour down and wash out the rails because the waterlog stair holds it, and yet I'm able to hydrate this entire plot of land from that single stair over there in the center. All right, so I'm going to get on top of here, and I'm going to start hoeing the land here. I'm going to hoe every other spot to make farmland. All right, so that's those, and then I'm going to hoe these adjacent ones. Maybe I should say till instead of hoe. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to continue going across until I've got a grid pattern of farmland. Whoops, not there. It's fine, I'll just leave it. Does mess up my site though. It really did take me a moment to figure it out, as you saw. All right, so continuing the grid going this way. All right, there it is. And now I'm ready to start planting. So I've got melon seeds and pumpkin seeds here. And what we're going to do is plant a row of pumpkin seeds on the outside here. And then we're going to plant melon seeds in the row next to it, because according to Ilmango, and I think Nimbon anyway, that makes them grow more efficiently when you alternate like this. I'm just going to continue doing this all the way across. Now what I need to do is go around the whole farm and find the tiny little box. I can't see it. Can't see the box. All right, I think, yeah, all right, so there it is. There's the box. So I'm going to put my cursor directly on the top of the bounding box of that little stem. And when I click it, that observer is looking straight down into there. And that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go around and do that to all the rest of these stems. Of course, you have to be a certain distance away from it in order to place the observer. And finding the bounding box is a little difficult when they're this small. But it's possible. There we go. We're doing it. Here we go. All right, yep, turn around and get this one. All right, and that should be it. All my observers are now in. So in Minecraft 1.15, actually since 1.14, there's this kind of glitch, and I'll show you what it is. That is, if you're standing next to a trapdoor, when you close it, it'll knock you down. That looks pretty funny, right? In order to place these so that so that they are facing down, I'm aiming my crosshairs way high up on the block, and that ensures that they'll be facing downward. From here, of course, I can just put these pistons in like this. So if you're on the outside and you need to add some additional pistons, that's an easy way to do it. All right, now that I've got all the pistons in, I am going to need to be able to get on top of there. And I'm going to need a piece of glowstone and a bunch of blocks. Well, I already have a bunch of blocks. I can just use these brick blocks to place up there. That'll be fine. Oh, this observer is not facing the right direction either. Be very careful about that, guys. When you get done laying this out, make sure that all of your observers are facing down into the stems. All right, so now all we need to do is put a block on top of each of the pistons. All right, now that we're done with that, it's time to put a piece of redstone dust on top of each of the observers. And if you just sort of walk diagonally over the blocks, it's easy to not fall down on top of the observers. Now, the pistons are starting to fire because the stems below them are growing. Most of them are still growing. I don't think we're probably getting pumpkins or melons just yet. All right, and now I am just going around to double check that I have got redstone dust on every single one of my observers. And I'm going to check again because I've been making mistakes throughout this video, and I don't like making mistakes. All right, now I'm going to build the cart unloader right here. Remember, of course, this needs to be a hopper. The hopper is going to, the hopper minecart is going to stop on top of the hopper when this rail is unpowered, and it will unload all of its items, and then the unloader will power it again when it is through emptying it out. So we're going to put a comparator here, a block right there with a torch on the back of it, a block above that torch, then a repeater going into another block on top of there. All right, and that should be it. Okay, so now here we go. All right, and it's off. So now we're just going to check and make sure that it's going to grab any pumpkins and melons, and then it'll go back over here and unload. All right. So we're not yet, of course, collecting anything. We've only got one stem that's fully grown, but the entire thing is done. And now what I want to do is put a layer of glass all the way around the outside of it so that I can contain all of the melons and pumpkins within the farm. That way they're not falling outside of it. Okay, being very careful not to derail the cart here. I'm going to go ahead and put a line of glass going all the way there. I'm going to jump across here before it comes through. Then we're going to continue the glass down the side here, make sure this is fully contained. And that's it. That is the melon pumpkin farm running automatically, all done. So now I just need to kind of clean up this area, and then I'm going to dig down here below, and I'm going to start setting up the storage on the level below me. Let's see where I am. Looking at 8, 7, 5, and then we're just going to dig right through there. And yep, here we are in the storage. Let's throw some torches over here so that we can see what we're doing. Also reduce the risk of spawns while I'm working. Okay, like I was talking about, we're going to have chests going all through here. And this is going to be a column that goes all the way up to the roof here. There we go. This needs to be 3 deep so that we can accommodate all of the chests and all of the hoppers. All right, so if I've done this correctly, and there's certainly no reason to suspect that I have, this should be all of the chests and all the hoppers I need in order to build my storage system here. And I've already gotten off to a bad start. Let's see, so I'm going to have so every other row is going to have a shulker box at the bottom, and then the rest of these are going to have chests on top of them. So I need to start doing shift click in order to place the rest of the chests, and I might just be able to do it all from back here. Ooh, this one's going to be tough. Ooh, yeah, okay, so we may have to dig out a little bit and then replace some blocks in order to fix everything up. It'd be much easier. All right, yeah, and then we're going to have shulker boxes at these 3 locations so that I can easily pick them and then pick them up and take them away with me. And then we're going to have, we need hoppers going into the back of all these, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting those there. That way I can jump up on them in order to climb up to the upper levels and place the rest of the chests. Alright, so I'm using shift to place each one of these, and then for this one, I don't even know, am I going to be able to come out? Okay, yeah. And then I can just kind of do a shift off to the side here and place the other one. Okay, for this last row, I'm going to go ahead and place both rows at the same time. That way that I don't run out of space to get up here. Alright, in order to get those in, I think I'm going to have to place a block. And then, yeah, we should be able to put the last 2 chests in. Alright, so then we can just place these shulker boxes here temporarily, like that. Alright, and then we're going to get around behind the entire unit here, and we can place an additional hopper going into each of those shulker boxes. That way, when I put the shulker box back, it'll drain this chest above it and refill itself immediately. Alright, now I need to put hoppers on the rest of these, and all I have to do is just aim into the back of it and hold shift and click, and the hopper, as you can see, is pointed right into it. Don't know if I'm going to be able to reach that top one. Yeah, I did. Cool. Alright, so that's all the chests and all those hoppers done, and now I just have to fill this back up so that nothing can spawn in there. Alright, and there's my storage unit, all done. Of course, these shulker shells need to be turned sideways. And yeah, it'd be good to color code them. We'll probably have them be orange and green in order to show what's inside them. Alright, now we need to do the sorting system that goes behind here. Alright, so at this point I need 6 more hoppers for the storage system, and then I need a bunch of comparators and a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns. Which is ironic. If you go over here and you look, as you can see, our farm is filling up because the cart is not running. So I think in the interim, I'm just going to basically set a temporary chest right here underneath that. Alright, and that should be able to collect everything, and once that's empty, lets the cart go, and then the cart can go and collect all of our melons and pumpkins. Okay, and now it's over here dropping them off, and we've got more melons and pumpkins already being pistoned out over there on the farm. As you can see, they're over there waiting to be collected. Yeah, look at that. We're getting a good haul already. Ooh, I only have like 10 jack-o'-lanterns. I need like 18 in order to set up everything. At least 18 in order to set up the sorting system. Now, I use jack-o'-lanterns to run my redstone for the sorting system in order to fight lag from the redstone lighting up and down, because if the environment has to calculate the light for the redstone, then you might get some lag. So the sorting system, of course, is real easy to do, but we do need a series of blocks right there, temporary blocks at least, just to place them against. So, let's see. How am I going to get these blocks out of here? That's a good question after I've got them in there. So I'm going to dig this up a little bit, just sort of dealing with the logistics of this here. We'll run a line of temporary blocks right there, and then we'll put a hopper going into each one of those. Alright, and then on the back side here, we need a small chamber in order to build our redstone. Alright, so that goes there, this goes here, and I have no torches. Alright guys, so now I've got this set up for one of my filters on my storage unit there, and I'm just going to go ahead and build out the rest of these. I've got to go ahead and get the repeater under there first, put a couple jack-o'-lanterns on top of it, and then very carefully, okay, I put another one there, and then we can put another comparator on top of here, some redstone, and that is how each of the units comes together. Alright, and that is it. The storage unit is all done. Now I've got to set up each of these filters to filter out for the things that I want in here. Let's go in here, and let's just rename these to Opti Space to indicate that these are optimized space. First off, starting off, we're going to put the pumpkins here, and then we are going to put the OptiSpace items there. And there we go. Now we got all of our sorters set out, and then we just need another line of hoppers to bring down from there and run across here. Okay, so then we're going to run a line of them all the way across here. And then I need to get, okay, so that one and that one need to go, and I need to be able to get behind there. So I'm just going to temporarily dig this out, and we'll put a hopper there and a hopper there. All right, I think these are all going to start filtering into the system. Yes, there they go. All right, so then the melon slices should be going there. Yep, okay, so they're filling in, and then once that fills up, should go into this one. All right, and then over here we got melons. Of course, melons are not going to come out of the system, but I don't want anything going into those two units anyway. In fact, this entire 2 rows of redstone is probably a waste. All right, so let's go down and let's see how our storage system is doing. Oh, Whole bunch of melon slices. Wow, look at that. All right, I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and see how many I have. Meanwhile, I'm probably going to put some crafting tables down here and make this a little nice. Oh, I've made a huge mistake. The shulker box needs to go there, and the chest needs to go over there. All right, and good. Oh, good. All right. So then I can just take these and I can craft them up right there. Throw them over here. Okay, great. Got a great storage system. Got the system running and everything. Fantastic. All right, that's it, folks. That's a melon and pumpkin farm running automatically, pumping out as much as I need. I'm going to do some cleanup, make this room look a little bit nicer, of course. And back here, of course, we've got another access route to the stronghold and the end portal, which makes it a nice bargain. So that's going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll come back for another one. Please like it if you learned something, just like I did. I made a lot of mistakes, right? I actually learned something today. There's nothing wrong with learning stuff. And please subscribe if you want to check out more episodes, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.